What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're taking a look at some extremely game-changing controller and keyboard settings that the majority of players are completely unaware of. And by making some slight adjustments to the preset default settings, you could vastly improve your gameplay and performance in Destiny 2. And the settings that we're looking at today are the auto melee bindings, as well as the charged and uncharged melee bindings. By default, whether you're using a controller or keyboard, Destiny's melee functions will be set to auto melee, and according to its in-game description, auto melee will trigger your charged melee when it's available, and when it's not, your uncharged melee will be used. But this is not 100% accurate. For Guardians using a non-throwable charged melee, like the Arcstrider's combination blow, this will work as described. But for those Guardians with hammers, smoke bombs, throwing knives, or ranged melee attacks, auto melee does not function as advertised. When using these ranged melee attacks, auto melee will trigger your charged melee attack first, if available, unless you are within 3 meters of an enemy, at which point auto melee will switch over and it will not trigger your charged melee, but instead it will trigger your uncharged melee. This can prove to be rather annoying, especially in situations where you rely on your charged melee for invisibility, damage bonuses, or health, and you are counting on auto melee to perform as it's described. But since enemies were too close, you couldn't perform your intended combination, and now you're dead. Well, potentially. So to remedy this issue, there are 2 very important key binding options available for you to adjust, and these are available for all users: PC, console, controller users, and keyboard users. Below auto melee are binding options for charged melee and uncharged melee. You can find these settings under the character settings, both under keyboard or controller respectively. The description for the charged melee binding is pretty self-explanatory. Activates your charged melee if it's fully charged. But unlike the defaulted auto melee, this will perform exactly as it's described, even when you are within kissing range of your enemy. And once this binding is adjusted, you'll now be able to throw your smoke bombs, hammers, or knives without ever having interference from an enemy that jumps too close. You'll never have to dodge away from an enemy just to throw a smoke bomb. You'll simply be able to perform the function as it's intended, even if it just smacks that enemy right in the face. And by binding the uncharged melee to the same key binding, which in my case for controller is R1 and for keyboard is C, you will always activate your charged melee when it's available when you press that button. And when it's not, the uncharged melee will be triggered instead, giving you the performance that you would have expected from the auto melee binding. This also gives you the option to set uncharged melee to a different key binding, which could prove to be very beneficial for a lot of Guardians, especially those using mouse and keyboard. So for all the new light and returning Guardians out there who haven't gone in and changed these auto melee key bindings, I really recommend that you give these setting adjustments a try and see how much better your gameplay becomes, because I guarantee that you're going to see a noticeable improvement. And with that being said, I wish you all the best of luck throughout this season and into Lightfall. Let me know what you're looking forward to most in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. If you're a new light Guardian just starting your journey, or a battle-hardened veteran who's looking for a new home, then be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below and join one of the greatest communities in all of Destiny. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.